little goldies, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to Sweet Colorful Christmas. My name is Sharon, or Sweetnightingale, and this is day 15. Let's count it. 10 plus, 10 plus 5 is 15. And so you have seen our picture that we are working on. We are working in Ugly Holiday Sweaters by Creative Haven. And we are working on this sweater here, which is actually the one that's on the cover. And so we're working on this sweater here. And we're using our good old Prismacolor pencils because it's been a while since I used Prismacolor pencils, and I was in a mood to use Prismacolor pencils because, let me tell you, I need an easy day today. So I'm pre-recording this. For me, this is Thursday, but you guys are going to be seeing this on Friday, which is tomorrow. So we're going to go ahead and get to coloring. I have these two greens here, and we're going to work on this part of the sweater here, up here. So I have olive green, which is the darker one, and then I have true green, which is the lighter one, and we're going to color on this part of the sweater here. So before we get started coloring, just as a little disclaimer, I am coloring with a visual impairment, which means I have to get close to my work. So I try to keep my head out of the way as much as I can, but sometimes you're going to see it. But we do the best we can under the circumstances. So let's go ahead and zoom in, and we are going to get to coloring on this picture. So, we're going to start out with the lighter green, which is the true green, and we're just going to put a coat over here on this part of the sweater. And I'm just wanting to make sure that I am in frame. Let's see, there we go. So, yeah. But anyway, like I was saying, I need an easy day today because if you didn't watch my last video, then I will just tell you that we had to take one of our doggies in for the last one-way trip to the final destination, if you know what I mean. If you've been around my channel for a while, you know that one of our doggies had cancer inside his nose, and which of course eventually gets to you in the end, and it got to him, so we had to take him in this morning, first thing this morning, and do the deed. He just steadily declined over the last few weeks, very, very quickly, and he was really having a hard time with his breathing. And if you've been around cancer like that before, you know what a nasty smell it can have. It's really gross, because I mean it was rotting out his nose, poor guy. So it stunk. It has such an awful smell, and you know, it just wasn't going to get any better. So and we couldn't let him go on that way anymore. So it was best for him to, as hard as it is for us, to let him go. Yeah. So the house seems very, very strange without him. We still have our other three dogs, of course. We have Alex and we have Caleb, who are both golden retrievers, and hence, you know, the little goldies. You guys are my little goldies. Because I love dogs, but I am a golden retriever snob. And then we also have Sheena, who is not a golden retriever. She's a beagle mix. She's part beagle. The other part, we don't know exactly what. But yeah. But it's just very strange here now without Turbo. And then poor John, like, he had to go to work after we got back home because we did it first thing this morning. You know, we talked about it long and hard last night and stuff, and so we got back home and we had our espresso. Well, in my case, I have cappuccino, but and then he had to go to work after all of it. So poor guy, you know, it's like, yeah, you go do the deed and then you got to go to work. But me, and I told you guys that when we had to do the deed that I'd probably just come back and color with you guys, because I think it'll be quite a comfort. And it kind of keeps my mind off of it and stuff. Well, of course, not when I talk about it. So yeah, I am very sad today. And I'm trying very hard not to cry on camera. Because crying on camera, oh my. But yeah, other than that, everything's Jake, as they say. Just a very strange feeling without our turbo buddy here. But, you know, it was the best thing for him, and there was really no choice. You know, because you want to do the right thing for him, and yep. Even though the right thing can be very painful for the humans involved. Yeah. So anyway, the age-old question, what is everybody coloring? What is everybody up to? What are you all coloring this fine, cold day? Now I'm just doing kind of just a light layer with these greens right now. And I will do more. I'll make it darker. Because we could make it really bold. Make it very festive. But right now we'll go soft, and then we can always add more. Because one thing with Prismacolors is that if you put too much down on there, eventually you're going to get a wax bloom, and then you're not going to be able to blend anything more onto it. So I'm trying to go soft right now, and then we will add more as we go, because we'll blend some of this stuff out with our darker color. Okay. I think Anne Hatfield was coloring a picture in this book. I think she was doing a different one, but she was coloring an ugly sweater. And I forgot who I was talking to, but oh my gosh, I forgot who I was talking to, but you know, when I think of like ugly sweaters, like when I think of ugly sweaters, like I think of the Harry Potter series. And you remember how like, if you're a Harry Potter fan, of course you know who Mrs. Weasley is. But do you remember how like Mrs. Weasley would make all of her kids a Christmas sweater, you know, for every year? And Ron, he always got maroon, and he hated maroon. But you know, she even made Harry one. Mrs. Weasley did. And so yeah, when I think of these ugly holiday sweaters, I think of I think of the Weasleys. I do. And I'm trying to get this so that it is in frame. And pardon me for moving the book a little bit, but I'm the type of person that kind of has to move the book a little bit to get into the spaces that I need to get into. So please pardon me while I move this book. Yeah. So, today, like I said, is Thursday. When you guys, by the time you guys see this, it's going to be Friday. But we had a pretty light week actually this week. John had a meeting Monday night, and Tuesday night. It was kind of funny, actually. Tuesday night, we were supposed to have an emergency board meeting with the Lions Club. Well, the board meeting happened, but I was kind of disgusted about that because, like, we just had a board meeting the previous week, you know, when we had our scheduled meeting, and this is like the second emergency board meeting that happened, like, within a month. But what had to be voted on this time was we do a big car show every year in October. So there were some problems with the location that we had. So what had to be voted on this particular emergency meeting was a different location for the car show, and the car show committee found one. So, you know, they felt that we needed this meeting to, you know, to vote on that, to kind of get things in the works, because, you know, this is a lot of planning and stuff that, you know, that happens with this. And so that's why the board meeting was called, but I was still kind of disgusted about it. It's like, you know what, there's like, we already had a board meeting, plus like we had an emergency board meeting last month. Ugh, you know. And then of course it was cold, so like I didn't even want to get out in it. But what ended up happening was, now we were all set to go. But what ended up happening was, John, he changed watches for work that day. And when he was setting it, he put the wrong time on it. So his time was like an hour behind what the regular time was. So instead of being like, say, 6 o'clock, his watch said 5 o'clock when it was really 6 o'clock. So our meeting was supposed to start about 6:30. So he got home around 6:30. Normally he'll get home around like 5:30, you know, maybe 5:45. So he got home at 6:30, and I said, well, I guess we're not going to make the board meeting, are we? He says, well, why not? And I said, well, dear, it starts at 6:30 and it's already 6:33. Now it takes us probably about 10 minutes to drive in there because the meeting is out of town from where we live. So he looked at the clock, and you know, he looked at the time like on the phone, and he says, well, shit. And yes, I did cuss. But you know, that's exactly what he says. He's like, well, shit. So he says, well, I guess we won't make it. So he says, well, I bet you're glad about that. And I said, yeah, kinda, but I said we had said that we were gonna go, and then we ended up not going, so we had to email the president and kind of explain what happened. So John got the little booby prize for that day. So, I mean, it was a relief, but in a way it was like, well, that was kind of a dumb thing to have happened. So we didn't make it to the board meeting. We did not make it to that board meeting. And then yesterday was a pretty light, quiet day. Except for when we had to discuss, you know, turbo situation, you know, when John got home. And then last night, like when we were in bed, like half the night, like we heard Turbo gurgling, like because his breathing, you know, like he would gurgle because like he couldn't clear the stuff out of his nose because of the tumor. So half the night, like we heard Turbo, you know, making his noises and stuff, and ooh, it was bad. And of course you know, when you have the cancer like that, it smells. So his nose had a disgusting smell to it. So I filmed my haul video yesterday, and then I went to go watch Different Strokes last night. I was talking about that in my last video. It's an old situation comedy, you know, sitcom from the 70s and 80s, and I loved that show. Still love that show, absolutely do. And so I had gotten seasons 5 and 6 of that. If you watched my haul video that went up yesterday, then you will have seen those DVDs in the haul. So I watched that last night a little bit, and I always enjoy that. That always makes me laugh. Always makes me laugh. Because it was a funny show. Still is a funny show. Let me tell you, they don't make TV shows like they used to. I'm going to tell you that right now. They don't make TV shows like they used to. I'm just trying to blend in these two colors here. Because I put the dark stuff kind of in the, like in the little bends right there, I guess, and then I'm just trying to kind of do it around the edge of the sleeve and stuff, you know, just to make it kind of dark, and then I'm just going to blend it in with the lighter color here. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing over on the other side as well as on the front of the sweater. I mean, these Prismacolors just blend effortlessly. I love the Prismacolors, but you know, still my favorite pencil of all time, I think, is still my Polychromos. I love my Polychromos. But I still love my Prismacolors. I always will love my Prismacolors. Because I love the bright, vibrant colors that we get out of it. Yeah, I do indeed. So, add some dark color to this. Got an itchy eyeball here. Ooh, I hate that. So, I hope everybody is keeping warm. Oh my gosh, like I got so cold last night. Oh my gosh, like it seems like around between like 6 and 7 at night here, I get so cold. It's like either the house cools off or I just get a chill and I can't warm up, or maybe it's both. So after I got done watching some different strokes, I went and curled under the covers with my iPad, and I started watching a video. And Erin from Simple Art for Adults, I'm going to apologize in advance here. I started watching her video on like if you're coloring on a budget, and that was a good video that she put up about that. She was talking about Crayolas and Prismacolors and stuff, and like if you're coloring like on a tight budget, and some tips and tricks and stuff. So anyway, I started watching that, and I love the video. Don't get me wrong, I love the video. I love all of her videos. She does such an awesome job. So shout out to Erin. Although you have so many subscribers, like I mean, she's got a ton of subscribers. She's got quite a few more subscribers than me. So, and I'm just joking here. But you know, shout out for Erin. Although you really don't need me to give you a shout out, because you have more of a subscriber base than I do. But no, I mean, I'm kind of joking about that. But well, I mean, it's true. She has a lot more subscribers than I do. But you know, just even so, you know, big shout out to her, because I love her videos. But it was so funny because as I was watching her video, now again, Erin, apologies here, but I got very sleepy just, you know, laying there watching it. Sometimes it happens to me when I'm just watching videos on my iPad, like under the covers, you know, especially when I'm trying to get warmed up and stuff. But I got real sleepy, and I didn't sleep very well the night before. So I ended up kind of dozing off. Like she got to the part where, now this is almost to the end of the video, but she got to the part where she was talking about supplies that you could color with for under $20. Like you could get your whole setup for under $20, and she was giving names of some of the supplies and stuff. So she got to that part. Now keep in mind, I went back to rewatch it, but she started talking about that on the video, and I got real sleepy, and I conked out for a little bit. Like I dozed off, I conked. And so I fell asleep during Erin's video. Oh my gosh. So apologies, Erin. It's not because you were boring, and it's not because I didn't like the video. It's just, man, I was tired. But I did go back once I woke up. I did go back to finish watching, I went back to where I missed and I finished watching it. So, and that time I didn't fall asleep during it. I did finish it up. So yeah, that was a good video, and she had a lot of really, really sound advice on there. So if you want to know how to color on a budget, or maybe what to get somebody for Christmas who is starting out coloring and they don't know if it's their thing, you can go and watch that video, and she's got some really, really, really awesome advice there for you to, to think about and to consider. So I would recommend watching that. And I got to watch Anne's video for day 14. Now this color along is Sweet Colorful Christmas, which is hosted by myself and Anne over at A Colorful Life. So I have to watch her day 14 because I haven't gotten to that yet. And then I also have the video of Kate's that I need to watch too, because I think she was doing, what was the one that she uploaded just recently? She was doing, I think, some more Christmas coloring, or finished page or something like that. So I need to watch that video. That is from Kate's Coloring Haven. So check her out. She is a wonderful person. She is a wonderful person, like with the sweetest voice. Man, I could listen to her all day. She is such a doll. She is such a doll. But yes, check her out. That's Kate's Coloring Haven. And coloring is spelled with the U, C-O-L-O-U-R-I-N-G, Haven. So I would highly recommend her. And she could use some love because, her channel just started out. So she needs some more subbies and some more viewers and stuff. And she does an awesome job. Her pictures are just so pretty. So that was my day yesterday, and today, like I said, it didn't start out so good because we had to take poor Turbo in, and then I came back and started coloring with you guys, because I remember one time I did say that when we had to do the deed, I would come back and color with you guys, because it would be a comfort, to spend time with you guys and to chat and to just kind of do my thing. And so far, it's working, but I'm still going to be very sad for a long time. Because, they are members of the family, and you miss them when they're not here anymore. And that's the sucky part about having pets is, boy, they bring you such joy, but, when the time comes, like when they get old and sick, and then you have to make that final decision, it is not easy. I mean, we've been there and done it before, but it never gets any easier. It never does. You never get used to it. And that has to be a sucky part about working in that profession too, is like, when you're a vet tech or a vet too, that has to be a sucky part to your job, is when you have to put them down. Because especially the vet, because they're the one that's giving the medication, and they're the ones that's kind of delivering, the killing blow, I guess, stopping the heart. That has to be hard. That has to be hard. But even, with all the times that they've done that, because, I mean, it's something that, they do, I guess, on a regular basis. Some days probably more than others. But, just the amount of compassion, like if they're a good place to be, and if they're a good vet and stuff, they know how to give you that compassion you need. So even though they do this all the time, I guess, just the amount of compassion that they give you is awesome. And it's always something to be thankful for, is you know, when they show you that kind of compassion and concern and stuff. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm liking this, you guys. I think I am liking this sweater. We're gonna come over here and do the same thing, hopefully with the sleeve over here. Ooh, excuse me. I had my cappuccino a little bit earlier, and it is talking back to me. So, luckily you did not hear that over the camera. Because hopefully I kept it quiet. Oh my gosh, like, oh man. We had, was it last Sunday, we had our last concert of the season for the choral group that I am a member of. And so we'd gone out to dinner after the concert. And I was talking about that in one of my other videos, but I'd had a couple of drinks afterwards because it was kind of a stressful day, because I ended up I wasn't late for the actual concert itself, but I missed our, you know, pre-concert sort of run-through warm-up kind of thing. And so it was kind of a stressful day. So after the concert was over with, I decided that I wanted a stiff drink. So I'd had a couple of drinks at the restaurant, you know, that we went to for dinner. And we got done with dinner, got in the car, and sometimes, and I swear, oh my gosh, like if you watch some movies and stuff and you see somebody that's like had a couple of drinks or whatever, you know, they get a little tipsy and then they end up getting the hiccups. Well, sometimes that will happen to me. I kid you not. Sometimes that will happen to me. And when I get the hiccups, it takes, oh my gosh, like when I get the hiccups, I have to go grab some water right away and just really guzzle on some water right away, because otherwise that stuff is going to hang on until doomsday, you know, till doomsday. Because like when I get the hiccups, I don't get the hiccups very, very often, but when I get the hiccups, it is... Alright guys, I'm going to apologize because my camera decided to crap out on me. The battery decided it was going to die. So I had to charge the camera up for a little while, and then I wasn't able to come back to the video. So today is, we're going on Friday, which is actually day 15. So I had to kind of put it away for the rest of the night and come back the next day. So we are still working on day 15, but for you guys it was like 2 seconds. For me it was like over 12 hours, so I do apologize for that. And then I am trying to just kind of put the camera at a different angle, because for part of this my big old head was in the way quite a bit, so hopefully we can remedy that. But anyway, what I was talking about, now we're just taking these greens again. So what I was actually talking about as the camera was dying is that when I get the hiccups, it is really bad. And I mean, it is really bad. And so I get these really horrible like spasms, you know, that just kind of rack my diaphragm, and it is really horrible. And so when I get the hiccups, I mean, it will last until doomsday. Like, I don't get it very often, but when I do, it will last a long time, unless I go and get water like right away, like right when I first get it. But being said, it started to happen in the car, I could not do that. So I had to ride all the way home, which was like a half an hour, and just keep hiccuping, you know, just to have the total hiccups. And so when I got home, I was able to grab a little bit of water, and I was able to cure that. I was actually kind of surprised, because usually, like, if I wait for a long time, it won't go away. Like, I have to really work at it to get it to go away. And it is just really awful, awful, awful. And did I color that wrong? Well, poo. I think I colored that wrong. I think I should have put red in there. Boy, I'm really starting off good, aren't I? Aren't I? So I'm gonna take out this green. Probably not gonna get it all the way out, but we're gonna get out as much as I can. I'm really probably gonna have to push down on that red. trying to get as much out of there as I can. So a lot of times, like when you're trying to erase these colored pencils, the color doesn't erase all the way. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back over that with that red, I guess. But anyway, boy, I'm starting out good. So anyway, I was able to finally get rid of those hiccups, which, oh my gosh, they're just terrible. And, you know, thank goodness I don't get it very often, but boy, when I do, it hurts. Like, it literally hurts because, oh my gosh, like, it hurts because, it hurts because, I mean, the spasms are just so powerful. And, yeah, so that, so my poor husband had to listen to that all the way home from the concert. Yeah. So anyway, I showed him my picture, you know, the progress that I made on this picture. And so he always, what he does is like, he'll usually like it. Like he'll usually say, wow, or, you know, he'll say, oh, that's pretty. If it is, you know, but like if I screw something up, I mean, he will tell me. So he kind of gives me like an honest critique, I guess. And so he was saying you need some more shading on the sweater to give it more depth. So that's what I'm going to try to do in this video. That's what I'm going to try to do in this video is give it a little bit more shading, you know, so that we can have that depth. Yeah, so I'm going to try to do it like around the ornament here. And then we'll go through with the lighter color. Now we can always definitely do this in layers, so not a big deal. But yeah, so that is my little hiccup story, which is pretty funny. I mean, it's not funny to me when it's happening because it's such an uncomfortable feeling, but yeah. So, but thank goodness I didn't have that during the concert or right before we were to go on, because that would have been bad. That would have been horrible. I've never dealt with that before. Like I've not had the hiccups like right before I've had to go on to sing, which is good. Knock on wood, that'll never happen. Oh man. So when last I left you from making this video, I had said that there was a couple of videos that I needed to catch up on, and I did. I watched Anne's Day 14, plus I watched her one video where she was explaining about life kind of being mean to her. So she's not going to be making her Christmas videos every day, and so that makes me not feel so bad that I don't get something out every day. But yeah, I mean, I hope things get better for her, because it's not fun when life kind of treats you like that. So she's had, you know, she's got stuff that she's got to take care of. And we were to do a couple of live events during this, but she has since decided that she can't do them because of the things that she has to take care of, which is unfortunate, because we were both very much looking forward to that. But it can't be helped. I mean, when you got stuff you got to take care of, especially home and family, you know, that's got to come first. So I guess what we can try to do, since I am still able to put out my videos as often as I can here. Now, I don't do this every day, like I said. I try to do this as often as I can, but I don't hardly, like, it's really hard for me to get something out every day just because of the effort that it takes to actually make a video like this. And so, but, you know, I try to get stuff out at least every couple of days or every few days for you guys. So, I will keep doing that. I will keep doing that, although it kind of seems that as the holidays approach, I don't know if people aren't watching videos as much right now because they've got, you know, they're so busy, which, you know, I can understand that. So, but the thing of it is like, folks aren't watching these videos as much lately. And so it kind of makes me rethink, okay, you know, how often should I do this? Because, like, I do have to take into account, and it's not the whole deciding factor, but I do have to take into account just how often these videos are being watched and the view counts that are on them. Because if I'm doing something that people aren't interested in watching, then that tells me that I have to move on to something different, or at least break it up, or something. So this is kind of telling me that I probably should put a few other things in between these Sweet Colorful Christmas videos, just to kind of break up, I guess, the monotony, because the view count on these Sweet Colorful Christmas videos has gone down since the beginning. And so I do have to take that into consideration. What I try to think of when I do these videos, and I had said this on my Sims channel as well. You know, I have another channel where I play, I do gameplay of Sims games, mainly The Sims 3. So what I had also said on there is I try to treat it like a network, where if like a certain type of video isn't getting as high ratings, meaning as many views, then I have to find something else to do, or do it slightly different so it keeps the interest. And so that's what I'm going to tell you guys, is I have to kind of treat this like a television network, and I have to try to produce things that people are interested in watching, because, you know, this is no walk in the, I mean, I don't want to say like walk in the park, because I love doing the videos. I love doing these videos. But I have to take into consideration the time and effort that it takes me to put one up. And so if I keep producing things that people aren't interested in seeing, to me it's a waste of my time, and it's a waste of your time. So I have to find something that is that keeps everybody's interest, or, well, I mean, you can't please everybody. I'm going to tell you that you can't please everybody. So you do the best you can. But what I'm saying is, like, I have to find something that keeps the interest of my little goldies and my potential little goldies. So what I'm going to end up doing, and I'm going to be making a little update video too, because it's been a while since I actually made kind of a little update video, and I'm going to explain a little bit further, but I am going to be just kind of breaking this up a little bit. So you may not see as many Sweet Colorful Christmas videos from me, and I mean, I'm still going to keep producing them, but there's going to be some other stuff in between them, and they may be fewer. Like, you may not get one maybe every other day, but you'll get one maybe every few days until the end of this color along. And I don't feel as bad about doing that now, considering Anne's situation, and how she has to kind of cut back on hers as well because of life. So I am going to just try to do some other things as well, because I've really been focusing on this, which is fine, which is fine. But it seems like I've kind of neglected my Pencilmania series, so I definitely have to do some more in that, which I do have some other pencils to show you guys. Of course, being a pencil hoe, I have lots of pencils to show you guys. So we are going to be concentrating on that a little bit, and giving you guys a little bit of something in between the Sweet Colorful Christmas videos. And then maybe folks will feel like they can come back and watch again, or watch, continue to watch, I guess. So yeah, that's what's going to be going on. So I'm going to take this green, and we're going to shade this sleeve, kind of like what we did on the other side of it. So I'm just adding just a light layer to this right now. And I think I'm going to turn the book so we can see just a little bit, and I want to make sure that I'm in frame. Okay, so I'm going to move that camera just a little bit. Okay. So, but I will be doing an update video which talks about this plus a few other things too. So be on the lookout for that. I will be getting this video up first, I think. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see which one comes up first. So it'll either be this one or an update video, whichever one comes up first. I just haven't decided yet. So be on the lookout for that. So, and I'm gonna find some other like really cool things for us to do. Because I do like to kind of keep things fresh and new. Now, you'll still be seeing my haul videos, and I am going to be having an updated coloring book collection for you all. I think the last time I did one was February of this year, so I try to either do it like, I either like to try to do it like around the beginning of the year, and I was a little bit late, you know, doing it in February, and I think it was because I had some other books coming in. So what was I going to say? So I had done that collection video in February, but I'm going to do one as of like, you know, December, and I'm going to try to get that out in the next few days. Now, when I do the collection video, I don't show any of the pages that I've done because right now, as it stands, I have so many books. And if I did that, we would be here until next Christmas looking at books, which some of you probably wouldn't mind, but I know that I know that we all have to eat, sleep, and pee, and do other stuff. So, so what I will do when I do the collection video is I just show the books, but I'll have another video of completed pages. It's been a while since I did one of those, but I will be having one of those coming up too. There's a few works in progress that I want to finish before I actually show that. So, but you know, definitely be on the lookout for that because I will be showing that. And I got a request to sing How Great Thou Art. There's a little Goldie that wants to hear that. I'm not going to do it on this video because, you know, this is Christmas, but I think I will be doing it on the little update video. So, Deborah, be on the lookout for that when I do the update video. I will do it then. And because I sang last video, and as I was looking at the footage that I had already recorded for this video before my camera died, I was sitting at 26 minutes. So about 26 minutes. So I want to try to keep it at about an hour. So we'll do some more here for a little bit. So what's been going on today? Not much. I got up this morning and John and I had our espresso, in my case cappuccino, and I watched Kate's video that she put up, and it was the one where she was talking about how she had a rough week, and then she was working on her Hannah Lynn picture. So I watched that video and I felt so bad for her because I think like 2 out of 3 of her kids are sick. One's got like hand, foot, and mouth thing going on. And I'm going to sharpen up my little Prismacolors here. So one's got like hand, foot, and mouth disease right now, and I think one's got a cold or something like that. So I feel so bad because she's got like sick kitties. And she was saying in another video that she's been struggling with her arthritis. So yeah, I felt really bad for her. And then I watched Anne's day 14 of Sweet Colorful Christmas. I need to watch her day 15 because that was put up. And then I also watched her explanation video about how she's got things that she's got to do. Yeah. So I did get caught up with that. I still have videos from Grace that I need to watch because she's been coloring her Christmas ornament. Now I'm thinking I will try to do the same picture, But it'll probably be one that I'll do off camera because with Johanna's books, I mean, she's got a lot of detail in her books. So I may have to get out a blender pencil. So I'm thinking that I will, you know, maybe just do that one off camera, because it's not really an ideal one for me to do on camera because of all the little details and how close I would have to get. And then you guys would be definitely looking at my head and my hair, which I know that does happen at times, but I try to keep that to a minimum as much as I can. Okay. So I'm trying to get this to blend in. I think I put too light or too dark of a green layer here. I'm just trying to get it to shade. I may have to go in here with a blender. I'm just adding some medium pressure to try to get that to settle in here. And I'm just making a slightly darker layer with the lighter color. I could get my blender marker and do it that way. Could even get out my Gamsol oil and do that. But I think it's working. I think I'm getting it here. I think I'm getting it. I just have to press a little bit on the lighter pencil, and I kind of feel like I'm burnishing a little bit, but that's okay. At least there we go. At least we're getting some shading, and at least we're getting some blending. So yeah, there's our sleeve, because I do want to try to give the sweater our depth, which is what is needed. As my husband told me, the depth was needed for this little sweater. I'm just taking and just trying to blend out these harsh lines here that we have. Yep. So, but yeah, I think after I get this video done, I do need to film the update one, so I will do that. And I'm not going to say everything on this video that I'm going to put on the update video, because I want to, you know, save some of that for that video. But, so be on the lookout for that. And then I think I'm going to grab some lunch, and probably have a late lunch. And then I'm going to try to get caught up on Outlander, of the season of Outlander, because I'm a few episodes behind, and I also have an episode of Survivor that I need to watch, so I need to do that. Okay. Alright, so there's our green, there's our sleeves, and there's our green right there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the red that we were working with before, and I'm going to work a little bit more on some shading, like on the side of the sweater here, again to give it our depth. So I'm going to put back our green, I'm going to grab our red. Alright, so here we are back with our reds, and we're just going to keep going with that. Let's see. I'm just going to come on over here on the side of things, and I'm going to color over this part here, and I'm just going to add a dark layer right there, just to kind of try to cover up that green. Ugh. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to bring our light layer over here, and we'll start blending it out. So anyway, that is what I think I'm gonna do with my day. I got laundry to do though, so I do have to take care of that. Laundry. Oh joy. But yeah. So I'm going to just enjoy my weekend, because it's going to be nice to have a pretty free weekend. We have to go to a wake tomorrow morning, but that's right here in town where I live. So we usually don't stay for the whole thing. We kind of we kind of, you know, make our showing, you know, pay our respects, and then we go back home. I mean, we stay as long as we're needed and stuff, but we don't like overstay at those kinds of things. So that is that. And then what I had started this week too, and I believe I started it last Monday night, was I'm cleaning out my closets because I have a bunch of old clothes and stuff that I can't get into anymore, guys. So I need to continue with that. And there's a lot of stuff that I threw out that that I just did not need anymore or could wear anymore. So it's best to just not keep that kind of stuff when, you know, when you don't need it anymore. And then there's some stuff that, you know, that we're putting in like the clothes bins from, you know, like Salvation Army and all that stuff. And so there's quite a bit that we put there, but then there was also quite a bit that it was either out of style or damaged or something, or just not in good shape that I just threw out. And I need to do more. I need to finish up this one closet that, see, my music room used to be our living room, and this was before we put an addition onto our house. So the closet that is in my music room has a lot of old stuff in there that I need to take care of and get rid of. So I started working on it last Monday night. I got about halfway through it, I think. So I'd say about halfway through. And so there's a lot more that I need to do with it to get that all finished up. So I will maybe do some of that on Sunday. That's a good day to do that. And with these really cold days, it's kind of a good project to do. You know, get rid of some of that stuff. Because it's just taking up room in my house that I could use for other things. Indeed. Yep. So that is my story, and I am sticking to it. I also need to work on the closet in my bedroom because that also has some stuff in there that can go. Boy, you know, it's kind of it can be really crazy just how quickly you can accumulate stuff. And you kind of forget that you have it until you break into your closet and you're going, oh, I forgot about that sweater, or gee, I used to be a skinny mini, you can't get into that thing anymore. So yeah, that needs to happen because I'm trying to declutter certain areas of my house. Because it needs it. No lie, it needs it. My desk is like my desk is always like a constant battle to keep clean. Now I don't color on my desk because the lighting for that really sucks. I have my desk in my music room. I mean, there's certain things that I do there, but the lighting for coloring really stinks, and definitely for making videos. So I don't do that at my desk. I would love to have like a dedicated coloring area, but I don't have one of those right now. I pretty much just color in my room. Like if I'm not making a video here at the kitchen table, I'm coloring in my room, in bed. I want to get myself one of those like lap desks, because right now the way I'm doing it is I'm putting the book on a pillow and coloring that way, and it works, but I know that there's other things out there that will work a heck of a lot better. So that is something that I want to do, is to find a method that will work for that. But that is where I do my coloring, you know, when I'm not making a video, is in my room on my bed. And I will do that when I'm listening to my audiobooks. So that is a favorite pastime, hobby, of course. But yeah, that's where I do most of my coloring, is in my room on my bed while listening to my audiobooks. Unless I'm in here at the kitchen table making a video, and then I color in the kitchen. But again, like for certain times of the day, it works better to do it that way. But for other parts of the day, like when it starts to get really dark in here, it's just not as ideal anymore to do it that way. It just isn't. Okay. So I'm going to go in here again and just do a little bit more, try to get a little bit more definition on this. I'm pressing a little bit harder with this pencil to get a little bit more. Oh. Okay. I want to get a little bit more definition here. I'm just going in between these little squiggles, these little bendy things, you know, that kind of go back and forth. I think I think they're chevrons. Well, this might be a chevron, but like you know, if you crochet a blanket and stuff, like there's a ripple pattern. Yeah, it kind of ripples back and forth. There's a ripple pattern, and we call them chevrons. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why I always get out of the lines when I'm trying to do this. Oh man, I kid you not. At least when I do it real light like that, it erases pretty good. Yikes. So yeah. Okay. And then I'll just take this color and go over it again. Try to get rid of the harsh lines. Ooh. Actually, I think I'm making it darker. That's okay. You know what? That is okay. I can work with this. I can work with this. So I'm kind of making this pretty bold, actually. Pardon me for having to get close, but I'm trying to get right up to the line right there. I may have to sharpen this pencil in a little bit. One thing about the Prismacolors is that they, boy, they're a breath of fresh air to work with, but they're so soft that you have to sharpen these a lot more than you do other pencils. So when you're sharpening your Prismacolors, what I would recommend is getting a really nice handheld sharpener rather than an electronic one, because those kind of eat up your pencils anyway, but I think for Prismacolors that's especially true. So I have my Toggle sharpener that I've been using for sharpening my pencils lately. I've also got the Coom one, but I'm really loving my Toggle at the moment. So I've been using my Toggle, And it's been working out really well. It puts a really nice point on these Prismacolors. Okay. I think that's about as best as it's going to get. I can go over this here again with this pencil. Just over this collar a little bit more. Okay. All right, so there is our big red and green right there. Let me zoom out so we can see it a little bit. Okay, there's what we got so far. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab maybe some blues, and I think we're gonna work on the outside of the sleeve right here, on the sleeves here, and then I think we will call it a day. And then I'm probably going to go in and do a lot of the little details like off camera. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to finish up this picture on camera because of some of the details. So we'll do some of the bigger stuff, and then, well, I don't know. We'll see what we can do with it. Maybe we'll make this a several-parter here. But let me put the reds away, and I'm going to grab some blues, and we'll be right back, and we'll work on the lower sleeves. All right, so we're going to take these two right here, and we're going to work on the lower sleeves of this sweater. And I think we can go ahead and come over here on this side first. So we'll just make sure that I am in frame with it. Okay, so I'm going to start out with just the lighter color, and we're going to do our light layers again. Okay, so it's been really cold here. Like we had some really beautiful weather a couple weeks ago, like on the weekend of some of our concerts. But it really got cold. So it was kind of unseasonal for a little bit, and then it really got cold. So we kind of knew that that it wasn't going to last. Unfortunately, because I am not one for stinking cold weather. I never really did like the cold. Like, you know, it's kind of funny, like when you're little kids, and I suppose not all little kids like it, but you know, when you're little kids, you kind of like to play in the snow and stuff, and it's like, oh boy, you know, and you make your snowmen and you kind of do your thing, and like I could handle it for a little bit, but I don't know, like even as a kid, I never really liked to stay out in it very much. I just never did. Like, I'd go out and play in it for a little bit, and then it'd be, okay, time to go in. Time to go in. But there's some kids that will stay out in it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And, you know, if that's what you like to do, that's great. Not me, especially as an adult. I just don't like it. I just do not like it at all. Not one little bit. Anymore. So I'm just putting on a darker purple around the outside edges here, and then I'm going to go into the little bends right there, the little ripples. Just kind of go inside the little circles, and because we're going to shade that, we're going to blend it out. So we're going to pretty much do like what we did with the greens on the upper part of the sleeve, but we're just going to do it on the lower half. And Sheena is barking at everything. She's good at that. Like the slightest noise and she will start in. I think I'm going to color the little flag part outrightly in this darker purple. And this here too, but I think I'll ease up on the pressure. Try to make it look a little bit lighter. Let's see. I'm going to go in and get all the way to that line. And then for the outside of this, I'm just going to add the darker color here on the outside, and then we'll take it and we'll blend it together with the lighter color. Okay. Just go over it and just try to get rid of that harshness right there. I'm pressing down just a little bit now. I didn't layer this like, I probably should have layered this a little bit more, but I think it'll work out just fine. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing over here on the darker portion on this side over here. I'm going to press down on this darker purple just to kind of get down in here, and then we're just going to kind of lighten things up a little bit as we go, and then we'll blend it together. Oops. Okay. I think I'm trying to sort of make it look similar to the one on the cover. It's not going to look exactly like that, but I'm going to try to do a similar effect, or similar, you know, a similar look. Okay. So there's that. There it is. And I think we'll come over here and do the same thing on the other sleeve. Actually, you know what I missed? You know what I missed is this down here. It's always inevitable that I miss something, isn't it? Always inevitable that I miss something. All right. All right, we'll do the cuffs and stuff a different color here. But I think I can put this purple down here. Okay. Okay, so I did that pretty vivid right there. And yeah, so there's that. Now we're going to come over here and do the same thing on the other sleeve. Okay, so again, I'm going to just make sure that I'm in frame. Okay. You know what? This isn't very comfortable. Okay, let's try it like this. Let's try it like this. So, happy Friday to everybody. Are you glad it is the weekend? I kind of am, although I don't know, it's kind of funny, like we didn't really have that much to do this week because their concerts are over. But I don't know, for some reason I just I kind of like the weekends because I kind of think of it as my goof off time, or I'd like it to be my goof off time. And so when we have like other things to do over the weekend, it's like, oh, really? because I kind of like my weekends to be sort of my little goof off time. I'm not gonna lie about that. Not going to lie about that. But it's not like I had very much to do this week. The only like major thing was you know, taking Turbo in yesterday. Whoops. So yeah, I told you guys in the last, was it the last video, or maybe it was beginning of this video, was that we were supposed to have an emergency board meeting with the Lions Club, and we missed that because of John messing up on the time. But other than that, like it's not like we've been totally swamped with things to do, but I don't know, still, I kind of like my weekend. And I look forward to just, sometimes my weekend is just like my movie time, you know, like I like to just sort of catch up on movies and, you know, just watch a few. And like I said, it's kind of my goof off time, although I really do need to spend that time and get those, I do need to spend that time and work on the closets, because that really needs it. That does need it, and yeah. So I'm going to take the darker purple, and I'm just going to color in the flag like I did on the other sleeve. I call it a flag because it looks like a flag. It's in the shape of a flag. And then I'm just going to kind of lighten this up with lighter pressure. And then I'll really lighten things up, and then we'll blend this in with the lighter purple. So I'm going to work over here on this side too. Oops. So I have a question for you guys. Is there a Christmas song that, let's say when you were little, or even now, was there a Christmas song that you just absolutely love, you know, even maybe to this day? Is there a Christmas song that you absolutely love and that you played over and over and over again, that you just couldn't get enough of and you had to just play it over and over and over again? You know, was there a time that there was a song that you just couldn't stop playing? Like either, if you're old enough to remember, like either on a record player or like on a CD player or something like that, or your iPod, you know. Is there a song, and it, you know what, it doesn't even have to be a Christmas song. If you have another song that, you know, this kind of falls into that category, but it can be a Christmas song. But is there a song that you just couldn't get enough of and that you just couldn't stop playing, that you had to listen to over and over and over again? And now I have a little story to tell you. When I was little, and I loved the song Little Drummer Boy, and it was by the Harry Simons Choir or Simmons Choir or Chorale or whatever it is. And it was just so beautiful. It was the men and women's chorale, and it was just so beautiful because I love the harmonies and I love the words to it too. But when I was little, I remember this day, and you know, talk about playing in the snow. I remember this one day, and I was hanging out with one of my cousins, and we had gone out to play in the snow for a little bit. Well, I had enough of it. I came in, and I got onto the record player, and I got a hold of this one record that had the Little Drummer Boy song on there. And boy, oh boy, I played that like probably for the next like half hour. Man, I played that thing just over and over and over again. Just couldn't get enough of it. Just could not get enough of it. And so my cousin, you know, she comes in from outside, you know, and I forgot what she wanted me to do, but she wanted me to do something. I'm like, no, I really don't want to. And I started playing the song again, and so finally she, you know, she left me alone for a little bit, and finally she comes back in, and she was maybe, I don't know, about a year older than me, and so she comes back in and she's like, no more rumpa-pum-pum. It's like, ah, but I love that song. So yeah, that was something that I just couldn't get enough of at one time. So yeah. Alright guys, I think that for the time being that I'm going to put the purples back in the case, because I may have to come back in and refine this a little bit. Maybe I'll do that off camera. I might finish up the sweater off camera, just do the details and stuff on here. So anyway, I think we're going to call it a day for now. Here is what we have so far. I will probably go back in and clean some of that up, but let me go ahead and zoom back out if I can. Okay. All right, here's what we have so far of the sweater. And so I haven't decided if I'm going to finish it up on camera. Probably do a lot of the details off camera, but I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I may come back in the next video and color some more on this, or I might come back with a new picture and then just kind of show you what I had when it's done. I don't know, I just haven't decided. But anyway, here's what we have so far. We got quite a bit of it done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Leave a comment and tell me what you think. Of course, hit the, I think I said hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this, but better yet, definitely hit that bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. And you all have a great day, and we will see you in the next video. Okay, bye my little goldies.